Curtain wall. By selecting the curtain wall command, we are initially asked to define the sections that it will consist of, essentially drawing its outline. Pressing enter prompts a message asking whether we want the outline to be closed or not. Selecting yes will automatically create an additional section. If no is selected, the outline remains as defined. Finally, we need to specify the opening side, which is the side from which the curtain wall will expand. Once the outline is set, the first section of the curtain wall appears on the screen to be configured. After completion, we can continue with the other sections if they are different from each other. The configuration of the curtain wall can be done through the dialog window that appears on the right. Shape. In this tab, we can choose the shape of the curtain wall's outline from the available options in the library. Any changes we make are automatically applied to the screen without the need to complete the editing. With the Preview button, we can choose to view the curtain wall in plan or elevation view, and in different visual styles. This tab also allows us to define the starting level of the curtain wall, its elevation if created from its shape, its type, and whether it will participate in the lighting and ventilation control. With the arrows at the bottom of the screen, I can undo and redo changes. These arrows, along with the Preview button, are located at the bottom of each tab in this dialog. Definition. In this tab, we define the external dimensions and the filling elements of the curtain wall. The external dimensions are defined by the points given at the beginning of the command, but we can intervene and modify them. The filling elements practically define the number and dimensions of the panels that will make up the curtain wall. We can either specify a fixed number of columns and rows, and the panel sizes will follow accordingly, or we can specify specific dimensions for the panels, and the number of uprights and crossbars will be determined based on the total length and height. These parameters, as understood, affect each other, so we need to define either one or the other. With the mullions option, we can define the thickness and width of the dividers, as well as whether they will be continuous horizontally or vertically at their intersection points. With the Colors button, a dialog opens that allows us to define the colors with which the different elements of the curtain wall will be displayed. In the horizontal/vertical options, we define how the created panels are aligned. By selecting Extended, the program will divide the total length and height by the number of rows and columns, so that panels of equal dimensions are created. By selecting Constant, the program will create panels with dimensions defined in the length and height fields. Along with these options, we need to define the side on which the horizontal and vertical alignment will occur. The Unify/Divide commands allow us to further modify the appearance of the curtain wall. With the Unify command, we can merge two or more panels into a single one. Tip: selecting it shows a list of available selection methods to define the desired panels. The selected panels appear marked. Pressing OK merges them automatically. Similarly, with the divide command, we can divide any panel into smaller parts. We can either choose the number into which we want the selected panels to be divided or specify the distance at which we want the panel to be divided. Casing/mullions. In this tab, we select whether the curtain wall will have an external casing, as well as its width and thickness. We can also add intermediate mullion to the panels. To add an intermediate mullion, the panel must first be divided as seen before, and by pressing Add, we define the starting and ending points, and it is automatically added. Dimensions. In addition to the external dimensions of the curtain wall, we can modify the dimensions of each panel individually, first defining their fixed side. The panels will be modified so that the external dimensions of the curtain wall do not change. We can also choose whether the selected panels will have a frame or casing. Whether they will consist of glass or be transparent. Finally, we can add munchins to them. The panels that have been created are considered default by the program, meaning they are fixed, non-opening. However, this can be modified from the Opening Mechanism tab, where we can set a panel to be casement, sliding, or folding. We can also add handles to them from the corresponding tab. In the Justify tab, we define the alignment of the frames. And finally, in the Coefficients of Thermal Permeability tab, we can define the required characteristics based on auxiliary tables. Any modification can be made by double-clicking on the curtain wall or form the property panel. Once the configuration is complete, we can proceed with the design of the rest of the area as usual. The placement of a curtain wall on a wall works in a similar way, with the only difference being that during its definition, the wall to which it belongs must be selected.